Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Income Media. We are your hosts. My name is Ocean Subiano.
I'm Taylor Vera.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring to you our impressions and break down the sixth episode of Star Wars and Disney Plus's original show titled Andor. This is starring Diego Luna, right? That's his name, yeah. And also Stellan Skarsgård and a bunch of other people. And we are on episode 6, halfway through the season. And a lot happened this past episode, so we got some stuff to talk about. And I think this is going to be a very pivotal episode. So we'll get right to it. We'll start off with some spoiler-free section. Give you guys an idea of what to expect. If you're looking for no spoilers, we'll score it, and then we'll dive into some spoilers. So, Taylor, episode 6, halfway through the season. You had shared some things in our review of episode 4 and 5 about what you wanted to see happen and expectations going forward. And I'm curious to know if the episode 6 delivered or if it didn't.
I thought it was awesome, honestly. I think this was the best episode so far. Easily
the best episode, and 100%, in my opinion, delivers on the things that we were both asking for on our last review. There are some very specific things that I don't want to talk about because I think it'll be a spoiler. So, but there were some things that if you guys go back and watch our episode 4 and 5 review, we were asking for, or that we wanted to see going forward in order for this show to, get on our good side, essentially. So I enjoyed it. I literally just watched it. Had a busy weekend, so I just now watched it. But this was the first time I wanted more, like, right away. All of the other episodes, I enjoyed it, but I was kind of like, all right, that's enough for this week. Okay, we'll wait for next week.
Yeah, because this gets any better. More of a cliffhanger, I guess.
Yeah, but this episode, I was like, oh, here we go. And I wanted more. I was like, all right, I want to see the next episode. What the hell happened? So I'm looking forward to next week, and I'm looking forward to diving into the spoilers because, it was a good episode. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen episode 6 yet, I recommend that you give it a watch before you join us for spoilers, just so that, as always, you experience it firsthand. Excuse me. But as far as the score goes, I think I'm going to bump mine up to an 8 for this episode. I like a lot of the things that happened, and I think it sets up for a really, really good second half. So, yeah, I'm going to go with an 8.
Yeah, I agree. I think an 8 is a good score for this episode. It's very exciting. A lot of stuff happens. There's, for the most part, super minor things I picked out from watching it, but overall, it's exactly what I was at least hoping for, and I'm excited to see the future of the show.
I'm pretty sure I could probably list off the things that you're not too happy about. I wouldn't be
surprised.
Because while I was watching it, I was like, yep, that's something Taylor's not going to like.
Yeah.
Or, that doesn't look right. But yeah. All right. So 8 and 8. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to dive into spoilers and talk about what happened and what may potentially happen. So this is your official
spoiler alert.
Are we doing a spooky one for this one or no?
Yeah, we'll just do it for the rest of this.
Spooky. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Andor. I gotta say, man, like we said in our last review, the biggest separator that was going to improve the show or drastically regress the show was whether or not the heist of the vault took place this episode, right? I remember you specifically saying that if they drag it out and the heist of the vault takes any more than 2 episodes, then you're gonna kind of just be done. And so I was really glad to see that it all happened in this episode.
Yeah.
And for me personally, the visual spectacle that they portrayed on screen is in line with what I was expecting.
I was gonna ask how it met your expectations or not.
I don't want to say I was knocked off my rocker amazed, but I sat there and I was like, damn. Yeah, like that's what I was envisioning.
Yeah,
like
it definitely delivered.
I was envisioning, I have a picture of it here. I was envisioning this just crazy meteor shower with all kinds of different colors, and then they talk about the eye, and so I was envisioning the like cloudiness of our iris, like the color of your eye, right?
Yeah.
If you zoom in on it, it's like kind of cloudy looking, and like that's kind of like what I was envisioning this to be, and it basically turned out to be that. What I wanted was something that if I saw it in person, I would be awestruck by.
Yeah.
On screen, it's a little bit different, but in person, if I saw that in person, I'd be gawking at the sky.
This would be insane in person.
Right? Like, I would be sitting there just like, what the? Oh my God. Like, in my opinion, the Northern Lights are one of the coolest natural phenomenons out there.
Right.
And I have yet to lay my own eyes on it, but I, like, even just
This
those
gives the same kind of feeling.
Jacked up to 100. Like, the Northern Lights are just, a bunch of squiggly lines and, like, cool colors in the sky. This is, like, that times 100. Like, and if I saw this in real life, I completely understand why the Aldani people like held this valley so sacred, and why this was such a big deal for them.
For sure.
So I am impressed, and I am thankful that on those two fronts, Disney and Lucasfilm delivered. Yeah. Right? They gave us what we were looking for. And I think that because they did that, it's refreshing, because a lot of the recent shows that have come out on Disney Plus have kind of failed in that regard. Like when we're expecting something specific or we're looking forward to something specific, a lot of times those things are kind of just not, they don't fully deliver on. And so now that we've, like for me, that I've gotten something that like, I realized that the developers didn't watch our video and specifically like listen to the fact that I wanted something.
What are you talking about?
Oh, my bad.
You didn't know that?
But in my head, it's like I asked for a crazy spectacle and I got it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with like not delivering before. I think that's the only thing Disney really does right since they picked up Star Wars, is they always have a visually amazing like presentation with Star
I just
Wars.
mean like specific, like if I'm expecting something specific from something, it doesn't have to be a crazy visual spectacle, but like if I'm expecting something specific, like for example, the entire Obi-Wan Kenobi series, I was waiting for Kenobi to say any of his classic lines at any point. And we had to wait till the very end of the very last episode in order to get one of them. And like, for me, that's, I wanted more. So
Sure.
like this is, to me, this is the opposite of that. Or even for you, like you wanted the story to develop at a specific pace in order to capture and maintain your interest. And for example, what is it called? Moon Knight did the opposite of that. Moon Knight piqued your interest and then it fell off and it didn't deliver on the promises that it was giving you. This, at least so far.
I was going to say the show's not over yet. So
yeah, at least so far is fulfilling and delivering on the things that they were hinting at or whatever so far. So it's just a refreshing feeling watching something that's produced by Disney. That at least, I don't know, for me, if you feel differently, that's fine. But for me, it feels refreshing.
Yeah, I guess you mean just not disappointing.
Yeah, there's a lack of disappointment versus other shows that we've watched recently. So far,
at least, for Star Wars especially, yeah.
Yeah, especially for Star Wars. So Thank you. Thank you, Disney Plus, and thank you, Lucasfilm, because like going forward now, I'm looking forward to the new episode of Andor. Before, it was kind of just like something that I enjoyed watching. It was a casual watch, gave me something to do on Wednesday nights.
Honestly, something I've been thinking about. I don't know if we should wait till later, but
Nah, shoot it.
I'm curious to see what are they doing.
Like, what's the end goal?
Well, because I know they had stated that to get where Rogue One is, there's 3 seasons. So what are they going to do in between now that this episode aired and the end of that 3rd season? Because that's a lot of time.
That's a good question, and we know nothing. There's there's nothing to compare it to, nothing to.
Should we be expecting this kind of treatment where it's like, at least in my, like, to me, it's like slog fest and then something cool, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I think what we're gonna see is the building blocks of the rebellion being formed, and I think what we're gonna see is a lot more deeper look at the Empire and its inner workings, because I feel like that was something that was also highlighted in this episode, in addition to obviously the heist of the vault. Even like within the heist of the vault, we got to see how certain things work, at least for that area of the Empire. So right. I think that's what we can kind of expect. As far as pacing goes, I mean, the jury's still out on that. Yeah. We don't know. But I think as far as what we can look forward to a story, it's that. And that's intertwined with the development. At least we know for sure.
Clearly, what was his name? The security.
Cyril.
Cyril. Yeah. We haven't finished his arc yet, so.
We haven't finished his arc. And in addition to that, we know that Luthen's not done, right? There's no way they would have casted,
Mon Mothma.
Yeah, there's no way that they would have cast Stellan Skarsgård to just play that 1 episode or 1.5 episodes. And also, if we look at cover art and stuff, there are characters that we have yet to meet or yet to see, like Sol Guerrera. And if you remember back to Rogue One, there's a lot of talk about how Sol Guerrera and the Rebel Council that was made up of Senator Organa and the other, I can't remember her name, but the other people that were on that council, they talk about how at one point they did work with Sol Guerrera, and then Sol Guerrera's path went in a different direction, and now they're not working together, but not working against each other either. Right. And I think we might see some of that.
Although I am also very excited for, I feel like, inevitable introduction of K2SO.
Oh yeah, I think that's coming for sure. In fact, I would be disappointed if we didn't, at some point during the 3 seasons, get K2SO, because the relationship that him and Andor had during the events of Rogue One, that's not a young, really fresh relationship. No, yeah, that is something that has been seasoned, and you have gone through things together. You've experienced and you've.
I would expect him to be like a season 2.
Yeah, or maybe like end of season 1. You know?
Could be a tease, like the final
tease of
episode or something.
Yeah, I would expect it to be around there. So I could even see, like, it's far fetched, but I could even see there being some kind of tie into The Last Jedi, because Sol Guerrera and whatnot is in The Last Jedi. Or not Last Jedi. Sorry, not Last Jedi. It's Jedi Survivor. Jeez. I don't know what I was thinking. Wait, what am I talking about?
I was saying, which one?
Oh my god.
I feel like you're mixing names up.
Oh god. The video game that...
Fallen Order?
Fallen Order, jeez.
I was like, I'm pretty sure you meant to say Fallen Order.
Yeah, that was so bad. I don't know. My brain is all over the place this weekend. Yeah, the Fallen Order, Cal
I
Kestis.
did hear. I didn't check to confirm, but I did hear that one of the armor sets, which if it's true would make one of our friends very excited, was from Star Killer
Oh, the
from The
introduction of
Force
Star
Awakens.
Killer.
Well, it's just his. It was like an Easter egg thing. It looked like his armor that he wore in Force
Oh
Awakens.
yeah, this would be after. This would be after. Yeah, or not after the Force Awakens, but it would be after Anakin was Anakin's apprentice. Yeah, that would make sense. That'd
But
be dope.
yeah, I don't
Because
know.
I know
didn't
we're
confirm
supposed to
it,
get
though.
Star Killer at some point, right? I've seen a lot of things teased and a lot
I
of
don't know.
conversation
I
around
feel
it.
like that's a very.
Not specifically in Andor,
Oh,
but just
yeah.
in general. Like I know
I mean,
that there's
even
been a
in
lot
general, like I kind of feel like they should keep him out because it's like,
of what it does is it adds all these other things into the overall story of Anakin that people may not like.
yeah. Not only that, and like Jedi and Sith, like, they're already a little ridiculous, and they kind of overpower everything. So,
True.
introducing that him on top of that,
Yeah,
would be a little insane. It'd be cool,
it would be cool.
but
Oh, what if
I guess if they maybe they dumb
what
him
if
down
that
a little
person
bit.
that Cal Kestis finds in the trailer of the new Jedi?
Yeah,
What if
Fallen
that's Star
Survivor,
Killer?
I think. I don't know. I mean,
Just saying.
yeah, I don't know who that was, but
What if it was? That'd be sick.
yeah, that'd be cool though.
That would be cool.
I know they kind of been
Yeah, I've seen a lot of
referencing
yeah.
the games and stuff now, but if they actually straight up
tie it in.
tied it in, that would be very cool.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't really know anything else that's done that. Like specifically, like having a game and a TV show developing at the same time and they intertwine with each other like that. I don't know.
I mean, the closest thing would probably be the animated series with Knights of the Old Republic, probably.
Okay. Yeah,
But yeah, that'd be cool though,
it would be cool.
and it would increase sales.
100%. I mean, I was already planning on getting the game, but
Yeah.
if they started intertwining into TV shows and stuff, I'd 100% get the game. So, yeah, my point being is that they say they're going to make three seasons. I think there is enough stuff that they could potentially do, but it's all going to depend on how they do the rest of this season. The pacing has to be right. Because if the pacing is too slow, then it's going to be boring and nobody's going to want to watch the next two seasons.
It's hard to say because it's like this is 6. Is it just gonna be the same? I don't know.
No, that's what I mean. Like we need a little bit better pacing.
But at the same time, I could I don't know if they would, but because we finished this little arc, I wouldn't be surprised if they then picked it up because now
Right.
Cassian is almost like fully inducted in a way into the rebellion, so things can like not be
Well,
so.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because I'm a little. It's a little. I don't think he's as fully inducted yet as you may feel because the way that the episode ends in the exchange between Andor and Vel, Andor is very convincing to me about wanting to take his money and be done. Like that, to me, when he says it, I'm still convinced by it. I don't get the sense that he is 100% ready to commit to the rebellion yet.
I mean, I wouldn't say he is 100% committed, but he to me feels very similar to Han Solo in the sense that he says that he wants to get out. And then I'm sure there's going to be like Stellan or Luthen is going to be, once he finds out, he's going to push even further to continue his relationship with him because now he knows that when it came on, when it came down to the wire, he picked the right path. He didn't, fall for Skeen's plan or whatever, and he
Right.
immediately shut that down.
Not only that,
Not even a second thought.
that was, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect such a quick response from him about
In
that.
fact, Han might blush at the
Yeah.
speed of which Cassian
he shot
shut it down.
what? He shot first. But not only that, but it was something that I thought was a not talking point, but a turning point in his character development was when he chose to go to the doctor instead of sticking with the original plan.
That was like another step.
Yeah, that was another like step of him, his character arc pointing in a different direction than where it was headed initially. So I think he's obviously he's well on his way, and we know he eventually ends up there, but I think that the next couple episodes, I think we can expect to see a little bit more resistance from him.
Oh, I'm sure. Like I said, I think it's going to follow
convincing.
along the path of Han Solo, where it's going to be a little, I don't know, I guess rocky.
But I think the major difference between Han Solo and Cassian Andor, in my opinion, is that Han Solo was always secretly like wanting for the greater good. Like he always had this like mentality of like he wants to do good things. He's just put into a lot of bad situations, and then he makes the most out of the situations that he's put in.
I don't know. I feel like he's pretty selfish.
It later on in it, yeah. But if we're talking about including the events of his movie Solo, I'm looking back into like his early years. I think he that hero character had always been there. It just kept getting suppressed by crappy things happening to him all the time, and then having to survive and having to deal with all these things that are happening to him. And then later on, he became this hardened version of himself that was eventually cracked by Leia.
Yeah, but I feel like the same thing is going through Cassian right now.
I think the difference between him and Cassian is that Cassian just wants to be left alone. Like he doesn't want, like initially, he doesn't want to be part of this big grand picture because all he cares about is just, I think we're still going to learn more about his childhood and why he was searching for his sister in the first episode. But I think what he wants is just to kind of live his life without anybody really not bothering him. Like, I don't think he wants to be an outcast, but like, I don't think he's looking for that hero role. But as he goes through these experiences and things that's happening to him, he realizes that he can be useful and he can make change for the better, and then decides to do that. And he's also willing to do it in a dirty way.
Yeah.
He's willing to do the dirty work.
To me, that's still kind of generally the same thing, but
I see it different. But
yeah, that's what I picture it happening.
yeah. This episode was good. Without like giving you guys a play-by-play of what happened, the entire episode is just about them doing the heist, and they had this very sophisticated plan. And one thing that I was a little kind of just about was the whole comms thing. I don't know. Maybe honestly, it's just because
the plan wasn't really that sophisticated.
No, it wasn't. But
in fact, this is like kind of leans into the nitpicking of everything, is the whole image that they tried to portray as our group of characters that we're following this entire time is never believable throughout the entire planning, executing, like the entire thing. I didn't believe any of them, like how the way they, acted or talked or whatever. Their plan wasn't even that crazy. They end up kind of screwing it up because they just weren't professional enough.
Yeah.
To be honest, like in certain ways, they just honestly just real simple things they just kind of overlooked. And for the characters to be, especially when we were seeing them interact with Cassian, it's just kind of irritating to see how they interacted with him as if they were on this like I'm so much better than you kind of thing, you know. And they end up being kind of garbage. And then what we predicted came true in this episode in the sense that the only one who is actually valuable
Right.
is Nemec, and he dies.
Yeah.
We literally called it, and it happened.
Which
Throughout
so
this
sad.
entire episode, this is the one time I will agree with Skeen. The only reason they were there was because of Nemec.
Yeah.
And the only person who helped him was Cassian.
Yeah.
Everybody else sucked
Yeah.
and had no reason being there.
I agree. It was, yeah. Nemec is so sad. Rest in peace, brother.
Yeah. I
You were
mean,
real
unless the mods come out of nowhere.
Nah,
which,
he's dead. He's
I
dead.
don't know. Disney doesn't like killing people.
I think he's dead.
But either way, he's dead. It sucked. And Skeen's dead at least. That's one upside.
I think Nemec's dead because I think that's going to be another thing that drives Andor towards becoming a full.
Well, yeah, because now he has
rebel.
Nemec's manifesto, so.
And he has, like, him and Nemec kind of bonded a little bit. You know, like out of everybody, he was probably closest to Nemec. And Skeen, man, that was kind of a nuts little thing, man. Apparently Skeen was lying about his brother the whole time, you know, like, whether or not I don't know, seemed a little too convenient to be lying, like, so, oh yeah, I did have a brother, like, okay.
Yeah.
And this whole
I mean,
time
there's some truth in it, but the way they portrayed it just seemed like it was a full-on lie. But either way, that realization further increased my frustration for these characters because even Val afterwards, when Cassian comes up and he's like, "Look, Skeen's dead. I killed him, but he was about to betray you," and she's like, "He wouldn't do that."
What?
As if I mean, you know, I don't know how long you guys been together, but apparently you didn't know your team members as good as you thought you did.
Apparently everybody wasn't as diehard of a freaking rebel for the cause.
So it just made everything that happened before even worse than it was.
No, you're right about that. Actually, that you have a very good point
of that,
there
too, which I believe was this episode. Sorry, let me check his name real quick. Terramin, yes.
Stormtrooper.
Further, again, another person who further increased my irritations from before, even more so, because he is a stormtrooper, which means everything I hated before, dial that to 11 now that I know that you're a stormtrooper, because that means you have even more reasons to not screw that crap up. And on top of that, why do they keep doing this? Why do we keep having like stormtroopers like going against the Empire? We already had Finn. Why do we have to keep doing this?
I think I would disagree with you there. I actually don't mind the whole stormtrooper turned good thing because I think it puts out hope that not everybody in the Empire is just this evil being, that some people are in it by either force or slavery or just by no other choice. And when given a choice, they will choose to rebel like Terramin did. So I don't mind it. I think there would be a point where it would be an overused story device, but for me, at 2 people so far, I'm not against it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather just have I would say a more realistic approach would be if you want to have another character that is going to change their mind, then it should be something we haven't seen in live action, which is Stormtrooper Andor. I see this because it's in the Clone Wars. Have a clone trooper that just leaves and lives his own life. Doesn't need to be a part of this rebellion, whatever it can be. But like even Terramin's character clearly, I mean, he dies, but which, I mean, I didn't care if he did or not.
Yeah,
but it was surprising that he did, because he was portrayed as somebody that was so important, and then just immediately kind of gets deleted.
Well, I think his importance was the fact that he was a stormtrooper, so he knew how to act, he knew how to march people, he knew how to, play that corporal role.
Barely.
Yeah, they still look like crap.
They look like crap. First of all,
The thing that bugs me the most,
the uniforms actually looked cool.
but the thing that bugs me the most is the weapons. Why are you guys
Honestly,
pointing in opposite directions?
I still hated like
I hate that.
the way they, their DNC, their commands he's giving, everything they do is just not what I expect for the Empire. And their uniforms do look cool, but where did they come from? Because
They got them from the lieutenant.
But they looked nothing like this beforehand. Because
Right.
we got to see those uniforms.
We had to see them
They were
practicing.
like jacked up. So they ironed it. They like got it all nice
Right.
and shiny. Where did all that come from? We just never got to see that. I mean, like I said, it looked cool. And a lot of the uniforms in this show, at least for this episode, I like because they're also lean very heavy into their inspiration, but it looks cool. Their helmets, I don't know if you noticed, but they look like Kylo Ren's helmet. Their style, all of their, they have like it's like a helmet goggle combination is very stylized like Kylo Ren's helmet.
I don't remember
And it
anybody
looks-
wearing helmets.
Oh, there's a lot of soldiers that were wearing helmets.
Oh yeah, right. When the
When he brings
operator guy
when
comes down.
when the one guy that does his
Yeah.
job, shout out to that guy.
We're gonna talk about that because I actually have some issues with that.
But those helmets looked very similar to Kylo Ren's, and I thought they looked cool.
Yeah. Okay. Now
I
that,
don't really use them a whole lot, but you know.
Now that I know what you're talking about, I yeah. Nemec, poor Nemec.
rip Namek.
Rip in peace, brother. Yeah. As far as this lieutenant goes, played his role.
He did all right.
He did fine.
He doesn't really do a whole lot.
Did he die?
No, he was on the ship.
He was on the ship.
He's the one who like told them like, let's go, and he made sure that they kind of just left and dipped out and left Airman's body.
Where was he?
He was like standing in this area the whole time.
Yeah,
and
but
then as
where
soon as the
was he
soldiers came
when-
out, he just ran inside.
Where was he when, like, they were trying to save Nemec, and then when they landed and went to the dock there, was he? We never saw him, right?
No,
Yeah.
he must have just been.
I feel like he died for some reason.
I don't remember him getting shot. Terman's the only one that I remember actually getting shot there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I'll save that. TIE Fighter. Okay. Maybe you guys might be able to correct me if I'm wrong about this, and maybe I need to look it up, but I swear to God that these helmets and the dual Empire insignia is only for the I guess division of TIE fighters that is assigned to Darth Vader.
I don't think so.
I swear.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong, but that, like, when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, that, like, I don't know. For some reason, that's what my brain was thinking when I was watching this. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't.
Very
I don't think
possible,
that's true.
but I thought that this was supposed to be for Darth Vader's TIE fighters, but let me know. Let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong. All right, so who do we have left at the planet? Because Cinta
Yeah.
is still there, right?
Yes.
She dons
I
an
don't-
officer uniform.
So that's another thing I was like confused
Yeah, why did
about.
she?
Is her entire what's it called, like, relevance in this episode is so strange.
She's all over the place because she for
First, I
one
didn't-
we get confirmed that her and Vel have a thing, right? Like, that gets confirmed. We were already told by Skeen that Cinta was with somebody, but it was never directly said who. But now we know that.
I mean, it wasn't like
come
confirmed.
on.
There's
No way it wasn't that. That's not what
They
that
did not
meant.
say the words, but it's basically implied.
Yeah. But then she also just shoots a dude, which sure she was saving Namek and MD in that situation, but she's like the only person, like she was what set off the.
That was another point that bothered me was again, what she did made sense,
right?
But what was everybody else doing?
Right.
You're just standing.
That's what I
there.
mean. Is like she was the only one that went to the place that they needed to go. Like she's the only one that took it far enough and kind of pushed everybody over the edge. Yeah.
Again, so yeah, I don't know.
Just interesting. And then now she wore an officer uniform and she is still on the planet. Weird.
She stayed there, so she was holding all the people hostages for what?
Right.
And then she doesn't. It's not like she was there to answer comms or anything.
Right. She had no purpose.
And then she donned the uniform for what? We just. I mean, I know
as if the people you were holding hostage were never going to know who you know. Not remember
what are you doing
who you are?
after this? Because she just kind of walks out and goes towards the group of the people watching, and everything's like, okay, are you gonna like shoot up the people, or are you gonna just kind of pretend?
I thought maybe she was gonna go down and shoot the other guards that were down there.
That's what I thought, but then it's like, why would you need the uniform to do that?
Yeah, you
would just shoot them. Yeah. And then on top of that, are you really gonna stop all of them? Like, you're probably gonna kill like maybe 2 or 3, and then the rest gonna turn around and start shooting at you. So 1v whatever. I don't know how many people there are, but what's going on there?
No, and I think
because I don't really need more of her story.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna get more.
I'm sure we will because that's what it seems like. But she didn't stand out to me as a character that I care enough to really.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Because I just wanted all of them to just go away.
Yeah. They had all just died, and it was just Namek and Andor that
Namek,
made it out.
Sure, he was cool. Yeah. But even Val, like, you're irritating too.
Yeah, she was.
As the leader of the group, you're really bad.
Yeah.
So
your entire team was just kind of shit.
Yeah. Everything just was horrible, which makes sense. Maybe that's why your situation was so bad in the first place.
Right.
And Luthen had to bring somebody in.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we should have realized that sooner.
You can get fired.
Yeah, we should have realized sooner that Vel wasn't an adequate leader, because if she was, then she wouldn't have needed, or Luthen wouldn't have needed to add in Andor. All right, so let's talk about this whole comms thing on the base. Okay, so during their plan to, take all the money and get in the freighter and dip, right? They take down the comms of the garrison, so they can't talk to each other within the garrison, but they leave the comms open to the airbase so that they can. I'm pretty sure it's so that they can get the signal from the airbase to open up the money, right? Because remember the commander dude was like,
he does say that, but I think that was a lie.
Okay.
Everything he was saying at that point, I'm pretty sure was just lies. He was just trying to
stall them.
Yeah. Because she even says, "You're wrong. We know how this works. Yeah. We need your signature or whatever's." Biometrics to unlock the stuff. I don't know.
Still, irrelevant to my point. My point is, this dude that's operating the radio tower or whatever and is responsible for, I don't know, checking in on comms and everybody or whatever.
Yeah.
He realizes his comms are down, runs outside, shouts down to the dude on the other side of the dam. He's like, hey.
Well, not only that, that guy also came running up to him to double check with him.
He's like, hey.
I was like, hey, is your stuff malfunctioning too?
Your comms down? It's like, okay, all right. You've established that your comms are down. So what do? You, a commo operator, decides to take it upon yourself to put together a team of what I assumed were infantry or guards or whatever, security, sure. People that's job is, force.
Yeah.
And lead them down towards the vault and then approach and interrogate these people that you find.
Well, because here's the thing. This radio operator, you the MVP of this whole operation.
He is, but it bothers me a little bit because I don't believe it.
He not only verified by another personnel that comms are in fact down, and it's not just his station.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, this must be a station-wide problem. And then he goes to fix the problem. So he goes to the systems, figures out that it is in fact being jammed, but switches to another channel, a higher frequency channel, which catches the heist, our rebel team's comms. And he hears them talking to each other saying in code something about the vault.
Right.
That is what led him to realize, oh, hey, something must be happening with the vault. And that's why he gathers the team and goes down to go investigate.
It's just not believable for me. What would be more believable is for him to find the big-ass brick that they put on his little thing right outside his door. Like, if your comms go down, and I'm just speaking from, like, real-world procedures. If your station goes down, are you not supposed to, like, check your equipment and, like, make sure all your stuff is okay? Maybe something got switched off or maybe something's broken. And if he had done that, he would have found the, like, tablet-sized piece that's, like, not supposed to be there.
Yeah, but, I mean, before doing all that, which should have been after what he did, which was just swap between the channels, as soon as he got the information that something was happening at the vault, which is kind of important, that was enough information for him to be like, maybe that should get checked on.
All right. Well, whatever. It is just a little weird to me. Mostly because commo guys in real life are not that.
Yeah, but I mean, I was partially comms, so it was kind of vital in my job.
Yeah.
In fact, I had more things than comm guys do. Because I had every single frequency we possibly could have.
Yeah. Now, the whole vault heist itself, okay? One of the problems that I did have with this episode is, to me, if you spend months planning this heist, planning to steal the entire payroll of the sector.
They don't even come close.
They didn't even make a dent.
Not even the first. They
I swear to God.
The first stack. They only got halfway through that thing.
I swear to God, every time they showed the vault, I was just like, did they even pull anything out yet? Like,
yeah.
What is going on? I feel like I'm looking at the same thing. And for me, it's like, what, like, you came away with 80 million credits.
Yeah. This adds to the fact
you're talking about a galaxy-wide empire, and you think 80 million credits is going to do anything? Especially when you had probably 100 times that still in the vault?
Yeah.
Like, should
at least
you
from
have,
what it looked like.
Yeah. Like, to me, if you're going to spend the time and take the risk, should you not be prepared, and should your plan not account for the fact that you need to take all of that?
Yeah, this was, it's funny, but this is equivalent to the other guys where the Special Forces team robs the jewelry store, and there's like $3 million worth of stuff there, but they take like $7,500.
Yeah.
Because it's just a distraction.
Right.
Is the equivalent of that, but except that they were serious about this.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we're going to take all this money from the Empire for the rebellion. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, that was something that I had a problem with. Because the whole time I'm thinking like I realized that they were going to use the guys to help load. And I was like, okay, like that's a good idea. You know, obviously you 3 or 4 people can't load the plane or load the carrier yourself. And then when they open the vault, initially you only see like 6 stacks, right? Like 3 on each side.
Oh, even that. As soon as I saw that thing open, there is no way.
Well, when they opened up the 3 stack, or when they opened the vault and you saw the 3 stacks, I was like, all right, maybe like they figure out a daisy chain way to just yoit that stuff into the carrier. But then when they like flipped around the POV and you saw like into the vault and you saw there was like 10 stacks on each side, I was just like, there's no way. Like, not even remote. Like, even if you had machines, like even if you had like a Star Wars version of a forklift, you still ain't loading all that in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was just,
Honestly, just the amount of time and like once they fully showed the stack of credits, which is just looks like huge things of gold, basically.
yeah.
I figured there's no way they're getting like any significant amount of this onto that ship
Right.
with the amount of guys they got.
Yeah, I agree. And it was kind of a little disappointing to me because they hyped it up to be this big blow, right? They were like, oh, we're going to... And even even Luthen was saying, like, don't you want to fight these guys for real? Like, don't you want to actually make a difference?
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, technically, like... excuse me. Like... I don't know. What's more of a pain in the ass for the Empire? To lose 80 million credits or to have to like restructure your control over a region because there's a little bit of civil unrest. Like to me, that's more of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
To have to like take over another planet and relieve the local enforcement there. Like that's more of a pain than it is to lose 80 million credits.
Yeah, because that would cost more in the end.
Yeah, easily. So
yeah, this is another moment that kind of lowers our reasonable expectations from the setup before.
Right. Yeah, because they made it out to be this. It was going to make a big deal. It was going to be a big deal, and granted,
it's something.
It is the response that the Empire has, and the fact that the news of it traveled enough to have made it all the way to the Senate, right, or the Senate.
I mean, it hits the news.
The fact. I mean, but that's a big deal, right? It's a big deal for something like that to hit the news. I mean, we're talking about a galaxy, right? We're not talking about Hawaii, right? If something gets robbed here in Hawaii, we hear about it for sure. But we're talking about like an area, like if a bank robbery in Hawaii made it on the news, like national news, or even worldwide news. Like that's kind of like what I mean is it's a big deal. But in my head, it's like, is it really?
I think it's only because it's being tied to the rebellion. If it was just a localized thing, I don't think it would have been.
But how
important.
are they tying it to the rebellion?
Oh, I don't know. It's just news, bro.
Yeah. Well, like, that's my point. Is like we have yet to see how they're tying this to the rebellion, because the scene that we get of the Empire of that one lieutenant, I can't remember her name. If you could grab her name for me, the one lieutenant and her like coworkers and boss and whatever that are responsible for the area.
Dedra Miro.
Yeah. Like that scene that we got, he's like, oh, everybody's staying late, nobody's going home.
This is a moment that I 100% feel for those guys. Something
I've had
happened.
that exact same brief.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah. They're like, look, something big happened. Nobody's going anywhere.
Yeah,
like,
call your family, call your staff, tell them, hey,
you ain't coming home.
It's gonna be a long one. I ain't coming home until it's done. And then they get to it. And which I really liked that because it was just yet another.
Yeah, I mean, it just further added to our appreciation for their showing of the Empire on that end, which I'm still looking forward to seeing later on.
Yeah. So, I am intrigued, but also apprehensive about how it is that this is a big deal. In my opinion, the only way that this becomes a big deal is if it's like the spark of the rebellion, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
it's pretty lame.
Well, yeah, but like, if this is like the first step, and then like they're able to say, hey, if we can take 80 million credits from the Empire, imagine what we could do if we had like 100 people. Yeah, 100 actually competent people that could make stuff happen, So
that weren't just like, I am the rebellion.
Or a recovering stormtrooper.
Yeah.
So
one it's real minor, but one huge thing to me that I hated is the moment Teremin, Val is pinned down.
Oh God, yeah.
And Teremin's like, cover me, I'm gonna go rescue her.
And Skeen is like,
Skeen, bro,
pew pew.
you're the only one with the squad automatic weapon.
Yeah,
and you were
what are you
shooting.
doing?
You shot a single round.
I think he shot two. But still,
no,
not.
I think it was one. I think he shot one after the fact.
Oh.
I think he literally was like, "Give me cover fire." Pew, runs out, and he's like, "I got this." And this again, Cameron, what you doing, bro? You're a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
That is not how you maneuver. You ain't gonna be running out there like that, going straight to her,
right?
With horrible cover.
Yeah, and when
not
there's
returning
cover
fire,
on each side,
like
too.
doing something, and he just runs out to his death.
Yeah,
but why? Like, if you had the most perfect person to give you cover fire,
right?
Who apparently doesn't know how to use his weapon, or they just don't know what this weapon is that they're showing on screen. But this is the only LMG, and I don't know why it's shooting only one round. And then Teremin dies for no reason.
Right. Well, he dies because of a lack of, we'll call it training, but they were supposedly have been training for months for this.
Again, yeah, so like I said, these guys have portrayed themselves to be a high level of respect and, I don't know, skill
level. Yeah, they portrayed themselves as people that have
not
been
just
trained.
A group of people that just met, and nobody knows who anybody. They've known each other. They've been with each other for so long that they hated when Cassian came on board. Yeah. Almost as if you were being stuck to a new platoon. And you're like, look, I gotta earn the respect between each other.
Yeah.
And then we get this garbage, and they all just basically die.
It's a good thing Skeen's dead, because his cover fire would have gotten more people dead if not.
He's an idiot.
Yeah. Give me cover fire. Okay, pew.
Yep. Just
you
one
good,
round.
bro?
Yep. Is that good enough? Check. Now that's shit.
Now that's shit. All right. The final topic that I want to talk about briefly, and it's just because I'm curious to know if you felt the same way watching it, or if maybe it's just me, but I felt so I don't want to say connected, but I just like watching these people, and this is going to come totally out of left field because it has literally nothing to do with anything that we've talked about so far. But like, I envisioned myself as these people, and I envisioned their valley as Mauna Kea.
I figured you were going to say that.
I'm just saying, I'm just sharing my feelings here.
Yeah.
These oppressed people just trying to continue their traditions. And you got this evil empire trying to build shit.
It's okay.
I'm not trying to make a thing out of it. It's a little different,
but I see the somewhat relation to it.
I'm not trying to make a thing out of it. All I'm trying to say is that when they were on screen, and even when the Empire people were talking about them,
their whole thing.
Yeah, they're talking about them, and they were talking about who they are and how they are. Like, I was just like, oh, that's Hawaiians in Mauna Kea. Cool. And the 30-meter telescope.
Yeah. But I really liked the tribe. I like the interaction between them and the officer, the colonel, whatever.
Right, the trading of the skins.
Yeah, all that. I thought it was cool. It was expected, but
yeah,
I liked it, especially when he's like, trash. He just burns the fur. He's like, get that shit out of here. And then I loved the whole singing and stuff and everything, the chanting and all that. It was just really cool. I thought it...
Lamb and potatoes.
Yeah, that was funny. I did not think of that until after she said that. But yeah, I thought it was cool. It fit the moment. And then as soon as you see the spectacle happen, I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. And the people were great. And it was... they were... they played their role well. And they did it well. I couldn't help but feel... I couldn't help but compare myself and Hawaiians and stuff to it. But
I'm wondering if they're going to be... that their tribe and stuff is going to be included into the rebellion later.
I wouldn't be surprised. And I think that maybe that's part of what Cinta is going to be for.
Possibly. Yeah.
And because it seemed
but it's like, how do you survive that?
Yeah. Well,
that makes sense afterwards, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're there while you're here. You might as well convert
Recruit
some people. Yeah, recruit. And they're the perfect people to do it because
Yeah,
they
'cause
also
they
hate the
hate
Empire.
it,
They got the
yeah.
mutual, hate for them.
Yeah, yep.
And yeah, that would be cool. It's just, how do you just kind of forget everything that just happened and survive?
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. That's pretty much what I got for you guys. I don't have much more to say other than I'm looking forward to next week's episode.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the trend that Disney Plus has started with this series is going to continue. And what I mean is like the pacing, as well as like just like I said before, it's like to put it in simplistic terms, the promising of things and then the delivering of those things. So we'll see what they do. We'll see where the story takes us. It's all new territory for everyone.
Yeah.
This is not, we're not.
I imagine the next episode is going to be Empire focused.
That's a good thought. Probably.
I think it's going to be continuing off of the repercussions from this.
Yeah. How the Empire deals with this. Yeah. Which I'm all for, because I want to know, what do they do?
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's just, hopefully it's good. Continue.
I also personally want more of the Senator's storyline. I want more of that.
No, that's fine. I honestly don't really care about her.
I want more development, because I feel like there's something there that could turn out to be good. And I also am very interested to see if, like what I said in our last one, if the other senator that she was referring to is Senator Organa.
Yeah. That'd be
So
cool.
I'm hopeful that if they do flesh out her storyline, that's part of it. So
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I feel like it'd be too boring.
yeah, I could see that too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what did you guys think of episode 6 of Andor? We are halfway through the season, and this is like completely different than a lot of the series that we've gotten recently. This is twice as long, and I'm curious to know what you guys think. Are you guys enjoying the season so far? Are you enjoying the story? Are you happy about the 12 episodes, or would you rather continue the 6-episode structure? Let us know down in the comments below your thoughts. We appreciate you guys being here. Thank you to all of you that checked out our Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power episode last week. And we appreciate all of the support that you guys have been giving us.
Yeah.
Please like, comment, subscribe, comment, or share with a friend. Check out our social media. You can find us at Any Kind Media Cast on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Okay, Mona.